Tuesday, June 26th, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Guys, in this video, we're going to take a look at yet another huge rockfall in southern Ohio, where Ohio meets West Virginia. We're going to look at some flooding in western Iowa, eastern Nebraska, northern Missouri that's underway and will continue for the next few days. But first, this rockfall happened this morning in West Virginia, right on the border, where it meets southern Ohio, and it looks like a carbon copy of the rockfall we saw about 8 weeks ago in southern Ohio. I'm going to take you to the location, then I'm going to show you something that a drone revealed from this site. Like I said, it's right across the border from Ohio. In fact, here's the location right here. It's on Highway 60. And the boulder you saw, there was actually more than one boulder, but it obviously blocked traffic and is probably still blocking traffic as I do this video. But it came down from up here. You can see there's some steep rocks, trees up on these ledges. There's a ledge here and then another ledge that goes up. These rocks are primarily held in place, at least the looser ones, by trees and tree roots. And you're going to see some of these large boulders up here that are just hanging on by trees that they knocked over. An unbelievable sight. In fact, I would be very surprised if this road was reopened anytime soon, or at least the one lane. I think it would be easier to reroute the road around these rocks. They're so big. They look like the rocks that fell several weeks ago. They look almost identical. But there's a story here from WSAZ-3 out of West Virginia, and they send up a drone that shows some pretty good aerial footage of the rocks that are hanging down from the tiers. And you'll see what I mean. They look like they're just hanging on by the roots of the trees, and they're huge. But as the drone is up in the air, you're going to see a unusual, or at least it's unusual to me, it says magnetic field interference or something, and it tells the drone to turn off the GPS or something. I've never seen that before. But we'll play the video now from WSAZ-3 out of West Virginia about the rockfall.
We're out of Huntington, where Department of Transportation crews will be working around the clock to try to reopen a major thoroughfare in town.
As you can see, we're going to show you an aerial view on Air 3, and it's of the 4 lanes of Route 60 that have been closed all day long after several boulders fell right near Rotary Park. News Channel 3's Dan Klein joins us now live.
Well, and I want to take a quick look at what it looks like right now. The rain has cleared out, which means Air 3 is good for takeoff. Let me step out of the way here, and you can see there were some large boulders here just 2 hours ago, but crews have been working all day long to take a look and make that into a rock pile. They're using those dump trucks, so you can see one getting into place right now with that excavator on top. As drone pilot Jay Melvin takes a look there, you can see that is the rock pile in the eastbound lanes. Both of those are closed right now. Now, Jay, if you move a little bit to the left, let's take a look to the, pan right there where the cliff is. Those are where the boulders actually came from. Now, this isn't the cliff wall that's right next to the road. It's actually that second tier that's a little bit closer to Rotary Park. So you can take a look and see those boulders actually came down onto the first tier and then
See those roots right there and right there holding those huge rocks. Fallen trees are what's holding those in place right now. I would say that this whole area, for whatever reasons, if it's rain, if there's been some sort of shift in the ground, I would say this whole area has been compromised just by looking at this area here. That gave away very quickly, and that's a lot of weight. We'll continue with the video.
The road there, so 3 of the 4 lanes still remain closed. Thankfully, they've been able to get a little bit of those boulders out of the way there. That means that dump truck there can be there in the lane as traffic continues to move. Now, if you pan back down to the road, I'm going to show you that, as traffic's been able to move.
See where it says magnetic, I think that's supposed to be field, interference, exit P-GPS mode. I've never seen that before.
For the most part, without problems. Occasionally, as crews have had to close the road, close lane briefly to get a dump truck by or things like that, traffic is backed up. For the most part.
Look at those tree roots. Those are the only things that are keeping these other boulders from coming down. I don't even think these guys realize that. There's not much holding those huge rocks back. Tree roots and a little bit of dirt.
So westbound traffic is good to go. Crews will be examining to see if they can somehow get maybe one eastbound lane open at some point later. But right now they've got to work on clearing those rocks out of the way. Guys, back to you.
All right, hey, thanks, Dan. The scary part is for the crews that are down there right now, you see them right there,
There's
right
still
below.
a lot up that could come down.
That's a tough job.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Those boulders are not being held up there by much at all. Tree roots and a little bit of topsoil, it looks like. Look at that. Look how close that is to coming down. And then there's that magnetic, it says filed. I think it's supposed to be field interference. It must have something to do with the drone. I think it would have been easier to probably just repave the road around the boulder and make that a new monument there in West Virginia. But another big rockfall. We saw this earlier in the year in not too far of a distance from the same location. In fact, probably within just a few miles. Boulders just barely hanging on. I don't think that road would be even safe to open back up. Look at that thing. It'd be easier to pave the road around the rock. Looks like something out of a Fred Flintstone cartoon. But anyway, I'd never seen the magnetic field interference before. Exit GPS mode. I don't know what that means. If that's some sort of a common terminology with regard to drones, I don't know. Never really flown a sophisticated drone like that, so maybe it's common, I don't know, but it definitely is giving it some sort of a magnetic field interference alert, and that's geared towards that drone. So anyway, another big rockfall on the Southern Ohio, West Virginia border. That's the second one this year. This is the second big storm that we've seen like this. It almost looks like a land-based hurricane. Saw one about a week and a half ago that spread out over the central U.S. almost in the same exact location. It was much bigger than this one, but this one is packing quite an enormous punch, where right now in parts of Missouri and northern Arkansas, there's severe storm warnings. There were tornado warnings earlier in the St. Louis area. But you can see there's another big rotating storm that's the second one that's now caused a lot of flooding. If you look at the river gauges in the area, the purple, this would be in western, northwestern Iowa right now. The purple represents major flood stage. That's the Little Sioux River at Cherokee, and you can see it's at major flood stage right now as I do this video. Several at major flood stage, and a few, like this red one here, is due to reach near record height later on this evening. Logan Creek will hit record height tomorrow at around 6 p.m., or at least it's forecasted to. That could change. But a record at Logan Creek. And that's over in Nebraska. You can see major flooding, and this will persist for a while. That's right on the Nebraska-Iowa border. Actually, that's on the South Dakota border, all through this tri-state area here. And it will slowly but surely work its way down into Missouri. That one there's to set a record sometime tomorrow evening on the 27th. Shell Creek at Columbus, Nebraska. That one's very close to a record within just a few inches. You can see that's gone up in the last 24 hours, 20 feet. Unbelievable. And it's just now cresting. This one over here near Des Moines, not in record territory, but moderate flooding. East Fork, Des Moines, moderate. It's more towards the west, western Iowa, into southern South Dakota and Nebraska. So big flood warnings out right now. You can see it's ongoing for all of that area in the Little Sioux River area, Rock River, Split Rock, Big Sioux River, Vermilion River. All of these warnings here. Elkhorn River, Dodge County, Little Sioux. Near record flooding is forecast for all of these areas that I just showed you. Grafton, Clarksville, Hannibal, Louisiana, all along the Mississippi through this weekend. Could see record flooding. So big heads up if you're in those areas. I'm sure that you're already fully aware of the situation, but there are multiple rivers at major flood stage and some that are headed that way as I do this video. Another giant rockfall in southern Ohio, right on the West Virginia border. Rock so big they should have just repaved the road around the rock. Unbelievable. And that's the second one this year, and it's almost a carbon copy of the first rockfall that occurred about 8 weeks ago. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.